Good evening, viewers. Good evening, listeners, wherever you are listening to me from. I salute you on this day. My name is Uka, or you can call me Ukachukwu Okorie, my full names. And I thank you for joining me in this edition of my Liberation Gospel. Today I decided to talk briefly on a very important issue that it's pertinent for some of us to do understand in case we have forgotten. And I said, let me talk about salient factors of the Igbo philosophy. I said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu embodies true Igbo philosophy. I'm not here to sing praises of anybody, but the most important thing, if someone does good, you have to sing the praise of the person. If somebody does bad, you criticize the person. And that is one of the hallmarks of Igbo philosophy. We need to understand that's one of the peculiarities of the Igbo philosophy that the rest of Nigeria have failed to understand. And that is what I want to highlight this evening. I said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu embodies the true Igbo philosophy because it looks like most of us who are Igbos have forgotten why we are Igbos. I decided to speak in English because part of that philosophy, we are losing that, and that is the language. It's unfortunate and it's shameful that across the world, even in today's Nigeria, you see many Igbos losing the language. They cannot even speak their mother tongue. From Lagos, even in the southeast, we've seen that issue. It is on the rise. There was a time until concerted effort started recently that United Nations body said that in 50 years that the Igbo language may be lost. And as such, many of us decided to step up the campaign to speak the language. But it is important that I use this little time and this God-given wisdom to bring to the attention to you, my brothers and sisters, that we have true Igbo philosophies, and we know that. We do know that. First of all, our people love wisdom. Wisdom. It's something that we don't joke with. The Igbo man honors wisdom, adores wisdom the way we always believe, and like the Bible will even say, our ancestors said that true wisdom is the hallmark of a great man. We do understand that, and it is important that we recognize when someone does good thing, we have to commend the person. We know our checkered history in today's Nigeria. We've seen how far we've gone. Most of us, especially, yes, most of us were born after the Civil War. Though we didn't witness it, but the hallmarks, the characteristics, the effects, the consequences, we live with it, and it has continued to affect us, even our own children. But that is why we must rise to the occasion and end the siege, because we must end the siege. If we don't end the siege, our children will still grow up and be talking about this same bullshit that we've been. Kudos to Nnamdi Kanu. We must commend him, in as much as many of us have been doing a lot in the about the issue of our people's liberty and freedom and liberation. He has added bite to that, and we must support him instead of attempting to bring him down or drag him down or crucify him. We must not cow to the machinations of our enemy. You must know that our enemies are trying to encircle us. Who doesn't know that? So it is only, our people say, it is only a fool or it is only a tree that will know that it will be cut down and still stand waiting for it to be cut down. So in looking at this true Igbo philosophy, I said Nnamdi Kanu embodies true Igbo philosophy. And what are these philosophies? First of all, some of us don't even know who the true Igbo man. When I say man here, it encompasses both the man and woman. But I wouldn't want to go on the scholarly side. This is a very simple thing for everyone. I want to use the list language, like Chinua Achebe. You know, that's why one of the reasons we love Chinua Achebe's books. There was where I was discussing. I'm not trying to put down anyone, but I remember in the secondary school, when I was in the seminary, junior seminary at Opala, I picked up Wole Soyinka's book, and in fact, I just read through the first page. I know some of his books are very nice, but the grammar was, I need to pick my dictionaries and start looking at how to dissect the words, and it turned me off. But one of the reasons Chinua Achebe's book moves very far, because he used the simplest language and grammar so that it will be understood. You can even be reading it at the market square and understand what he is talking about. And that's why it's the most widely read book from the continent of Africa across the world. It's translated in many languages. And from that book too, you will see another quality or philosophy of the Igbo man via Okonkwo, as in the character of Okonkwo. But I'll come to that. Many of you have read that book, so you can attest to some of the quality, because that book was like a window that for the first time most Westerners saw through the characteristics of the Africans, particularly the Igbos, and that startled them to begin to plot why we should not have total freedom, why we should not be at the helm of affairs, why we should be subdued. But like it is always said, you cannot keep what belongs to a child aloft, because your hand will at a time get to be paining you for you to bring it down, and the child will take back what rightly belongs to him. Because if you put somebody on the ground and hold the person down, you can only have your own freedom when you stand up for the person on the ground to have his freedom. And I said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu embodies true Igbo philosophy. First of all, doggedness. We talk about doggedness, being dogged. Many words can come into this unapologetic. The Igbos are very dogged. They are dogged people when it comes to character. But before I go further, there are peculiar characteristics of the Igbos. And that is what most Nigerians are finding trouble to dissect, in as much as some of them have seen it too, but they don't want to take it because it challenges them. It rubbishes their attitude. It overpowers their laxity. It makes a mincemeat of their qualities, because their qualities are just little. That is why they're afraid of competition, because when you are competing with a fierce competitor, you will be in trouble. Definitely, because he's going to overpower you, because he is prepared. He has the tenacity and the zeal. He doesn't want to take second. Because it's just like examination. You are going into an exam, and you said you are going to make it. As a child, or as a growing up teenager, you said you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a designer, or any profession you choose. The only thing is just to work hard and be what you want to be. As long as you work hard, It's only in Nigeria whereby the platform, the enabling environment is not there. That's why you see people are getting involved into what they actually doesn't want to be. We all pass through that. But if you look at some books written by renowned Igbo historian, you will begin to understand a bit of Igbo culture. Who are the Igbos? We wouldn't look at deeply at that. There was a book I wrote, a political history of the Igbos. We that Ndi Igbo. Some of you may have come across the book. You will check it in bookshops in Nigeria. You will get to look at a historical account. There are a couple of, there are one or two historical accounts, but the ones that tally, I think it's one of the spiritual accounts. And whatever happens, our characteristics, our qualities can attest to that. But if you look at books by Elizabeth Isichei, FC, the likes of Obalo, some of you know about FC Obalo. His book Ndundi Igbo was published in Onitsha by University Publishing Company, I think in 1981. It will tell you more about Igbo culture. The title of the book, I think, is Ndundi Igbo. So there are still a couple of other Igbo writers. Then you know a bit about Igbo culture, because you can't talk about Igbos without their culture. Then I talked about doggedness. We've seen what has been going on. This COVID-19 has exposed a lot of things in the Nigerian setting. It has laid bare the charity, the lies, the dubious nature of the Nigerian establishment. And it is important that I bring this message to you, my people, the Igbos, especially those outside the southeast. Now, we must end the Fulani deception in Nigeria. It is time to end this deception. And whoever they are cowing, the Yorubas, the Edos, any other tribe that have been cowed into falling for this, their cheap lies, it is time to end this Fulani deception. The deception is now naked. We must get it totally naked so that the world will see what has been going on in that. And you must understand that we are against an enemy that has decided to annihilate us. Annihilation is not when you are put to the sword. They tried it, but they couldn't succeed. There was a song I even love play. I don't know if I'm going to. I should have prepared it before. I said, I won't. Asenai boy here. Amandiro me for polamo. Asenai boy chene kama elo for polamo. You know, some of you know about that song. Asenai boy here. Ama elo for polamo. Asenai boy chene kamandiro me for polamo. Many of us. I haven't finished talking about the doggedness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in this quest to achieve Biafra. Why do we want Biafra? We want Biafra simply because Nigeria is a failure. Because Nigeria cannot succeed. We've done everything that is doable. We are the nationalists in the country. We are in every nook and corner of the country. We are doing a lot to develop the country, economically, politically, and otherwise. But my people will always say, you know, when you wish somebody well, the person keep wishing you bad. What do you do? They don't like us in the country. They don't want us in the country. They want to subjugate us. They say all manner of rubbish against our people, yet they want us to be part of that contraption called Nigeria. Don't you know that something is wrong? And the unfortunate thing is that they are recruiting some of our kith and kin, including those they had with some of our women they captured as trophies. We do know what happened during the Civil War, how some of our women were raped, some of them were captured, and many of them did not come back up to today. We don't talk about that, but it doesn't mean we haven't, we don't have the records or that we've forgotten. We haven't forgotten. And some of these kids they had with them have all grown. They are pushing them back into our midst to sabotage our efforts. That's why you see. And along the line, they've even empowered some of them. Some are just masquerading as our leaders. When you know that our culture, our tradition, our philosophy makes us to know who is our leader. So that is why anybody trying to bring down what Nnamdi Kanu is doing must be attacked. The person mustn't be spared, because we have watched him. Our people say, yes, it looks like we're difficult people. Yes, we are difficult. But why are we difficult? We are difficult in the sense that we don't tolerate non-entities. We don't genuflect at non-entities. Before you lead the Igbos, you must be truthful. You must be trustworthy. It is only us that has a political structure that in the village, if an elder is not representing the kindred well, they will withdraw the elder and push another person. It is only our tradition and culture and philosophy that will see a Dangote who he will come into the village, and if his umunna, his kindred people are sharing meat, you know how they share meat in the village. If somebody dies, whether he owns the whole world, he has to wait until his elders, it is his turn to pick his own share. And if he thinks his money will drive him to insulting everybody, they will remind him who was father. They will tell him about his ancestors and what he did to make money. It's unfortunate that we've seen our culture is being derided, and that is what I told you earlier on. They've tried to bastardize our culture, try to change our way of life, empower. The British started that. The British started that by empowering. Some of them were criminals. Some of them were not worthy in the community. They made them warrant chiefs and armed them to collect taxes for them. And the Nigerian state have continued to do that since after the Civil War. Brothers and sisters, some of our part of our problems is not even our neighbors in that Federal Republic of Nigeria. Some elements in the international community don't even want us to get our freedom. But when God said that it is time for his children to be free from Egypt, what did he do? Even Pharaoh never wanted that. The Egyptians didn't want that. But what happened? He raised the Moses in difficult circumstances. Moses rose and liberated the children of Israel. It took the death of firstborn Egyptians. God hit them hard where it touched them, and they let. Even while the Israelites were crossing the Red Sea, you saw what happened. They came after them, and the hand of God mattered. So whether you believe the Bible or not, personally, I do believe in the Bible, and my people will believe in the Old Testament. Yes, because some of the Old Testament are part of our tradition. But many of us don't look deeply in the Bible. I don't want to go historically now. I always refer to people, the book by Olaudah Equiano, the first written work in the Western Hemisphere. He was taken as a slave. And when he reached London and the Western Hemisphere, he saw some of their practices were what was practiced in his hometown. He was just wondering, look at my people used to do these things. Oh. And more. So it is important for us to understand that part of the qualities this young man is exhibiting, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are we not dodged? Everyone around us know that, look, we have the tenacity to achieve whatever we want to achieve. That is why the enemy has always find a way to balkanize us, to cut us, to divide us among ourselves. Because when two brothers fight, especially over their father's property, who benefits? Is the outsiders. That's why you see, immediately the war broke out, what the British advised them. Who do they know what to do? The Fulanis and co. What do they know? If they know anything, they would have industrialized Nigeria. You've seen what is happening in that Nigeria. They don't have any blueprint for development. Because if they have a blueprint for development, they would have even shut us up. I mean, every country has their history of wars, civil. America had was involved in civil war between the South and the North, and at the end of the day, they laid down their arms. You will even see relics of the war going on. Confederate states, sometimes they do demonstrations and protests with their flags. You see some of their attitudes are still there. The racism, part of the causes of the American Civil War, was as a result of the slavery. The South the economy was on the back of slavery, the farm, the cotton, and stuff. Whereas the North were involved in industrialization, and the North there were a lot of politics too, but the main reason was slavery. The South prospered on the back of slavery. And Abraham Lincoln issued the Declaration of the slavery, abolishing slavery in America. So now, many of them now moved into the North to fight for Northern America. And at the end of the day, that was the end of the Civil War. They came together and developed America, not looking at the history of the Civil War. Nigeria would have developed a long time. Nigeria was the hope of the African continent. This is a country that is vast in human and material resources, but today is a laughing stock. Because we have a renegade tribe, wandering tribe that doesn't want to do anything except to vandalize, to rape, to squander, to kill. And they try to do that in the pretense of Islamization, but it's a lie. We've seen across the world that we have good Muslims too. Whether you are a Muslim or not, I am not a Muslim, but we still have who are Muslims. I mean, Dubai, that all of them are running to, are they not Muslims? If you go to Dubai, you still see people that are not from that area. They welcome them as long as they are going to contribute to their economy, to their upliftment, to their industrialization, to bring, as long as they're going to bring in tangible things. But what does the Fulani know? It's just to rape, it's just to squander, to borrow. They want to borrow everything, including water to drink. Are these people the people we are going to be on? Is it not a blind man leading somebody with eyes? I mean, we can't continue. We can't be pretending. Because if we keep pretending, I mean, posterity would forgive us. Have we forgotten that we lost millions of our fathers, our kids and kin during the war? They stood up. That was why Ojukwu stood up. And that's why we loved him. Ojukwu, his father was rich. Are we not aware? Even if we didn't meet that history, the documents, facts are stubborn. It cannot be wiped out. These things are there. That is why I say, yes, the Igbos may be difficult people, but they are the easiest people to deal with. You can only deal with the Igbos with truth. When you are truthful, then you see that they will be handicapped. And that is the problem of Nigeria. It is a country built on lies. It's a country that is not truthful. It is an evil place. A place that evil rules. So why should we keep quiet? That is why I'm bringing this message to you. That is Igbo, especially those that are their ancestral home are outside the southeast. We must end this Fulani deception. This is the right time. We've seen the division. The division is high, and now we can't keep entertaining this division. We can't just fold our arms and keep our legs astride as if nothing is happening. We've seen our people during the war, they had to balkanize the Biafrans, particularly the Igbo nation, and give us only one state where we are 100%. Carving our kids and kin, pushing them out in different states. And that is what we see today. What's their target? To adopt their divide and rule policy. And that is a British pattern. And that's why I said when two brothers fight, it is the outsider that benefits. Because when two brothers are fighting over their father's land or properties, outsiders will come in. Outsiders will come in to meddle into, they will become meddlesome interlopers. They will start making peace as if they love you people. No, they don't love you people. They are actually mocking you. We are children of this generation. We don't even know history. Many of us don't even know history. We even deny our identity. Should I tell you what's happened? If you go to Anioma area, Delta Igbo, you will see our kids and kin denying who they are. Some of them are even rewriting their history. My wife is from Anioma area. When I went in there, it was a big walk. But God pushed me into that place for some reasons. I had to remind them that the earliest Igbos who were educated were from Anioma. Some of us don't even know. Chukwu Makaduna Nzogo, that led 1960s Q. Where is he from? He's from Obanam. Where is Obanam? Obanam is Delta Igbo. It's the Anioma people. The majority of the Nigerian military cadres were from Anioma. A very important history of the Igbos, one of the earliest history books that is used for references, was by Elizabeth Isichei, Anioma. Some of you who know about, who read even social studies and government in school, you heard about the Royal Niger Company. They started, their base was at Anioma. Or are we talking about the greatest resistance group in today's Nigeria? Even when the British defeated the Fulanis in the north, who earlier on defeated the Hausas and killed their rulers, the Habe rulers, and took control of Hausas, the British came and saw that the Fulanis were already organized, and the Fulani tried to fight them. They defeated the Fulanis and now started using the Fulani and came to the west. Already, Lagos fell in 1861 when Dosumo and Kosoko were fighting over the control of Lagos. The British came in there, supplying arms. Yorubas were involved in war. The Eba, Alake, or Eba land, Ijebu. It was the Biafran territories, particularly the Igbo area, that was the place that posed the greatest problem for the British. They couldn't. And there was a resistance movement that fought the British. They fought the British until even in the 1920s to 1930s. And that was the Ekumeku group. Ekumeku. Because they were involved in guerrilla battles against the British. It wasn't a conventional war. They fought the British with guerrilla tactics. You can Google this things and check that. Because we don't read, because we don't ask questions, we'll be blabbing our mouth. You will see somebody from an Igbo person will say, I'm not Igbo. Whereas his name is Chukwu Okorie. Somebody from Okwane will say, I'm from Kwale. His name is Ifoma. We know, yes, there are migrations, but those places has been Igbo area and territories from time immemorial. Yes, they had problems during the Civil War because they lived on the frontiers, they lived on the border, so they were the first that were dealt with. You know about the Asaba massacre. That the federal forces came into Asaba and shot every male that gathered to welcome them at the village square. They still commemorate up to today. Those ones are remembered. What about those? I mean, those from Anioma, they suffered a lot. They suffered a lot. I've just told you that Nzogo is from Anioma. You will still see Igbos today. You will say, Anioma, these people are half Igbo. They are not. No, they are not half Igbo. It's just because of our history. You know, the enemy has tried to lure them. Go to River State. See what's happening. Ikwere will wake up and say they are not Ikwere. Half of them will say we are Igbo. The other one will say they are not Igbo. No. Even in Bayelsa, many. Today there are Igbos in Benue State. We have the Eza in Benue, the Easy and Ifium stock. Their kids are in Ebony. We've seen recently how these herdsmen are attacking from that area. We have Igbos in Benue. The other day, their president contacted me through one of my followers and said, how can I assist them? How can I come to their place and see what they are suffering? Administrative-wise, economically, they are abandoned because we've been balkanized, because they have cut us. They don't want us to be united, because when we are united I mean, in a family, when a family is united, they can, protect their family values and virtue. No outsider will come to take their land. These things are natural. Look at Edo. We have the Igbo Akere, which we call, which they call Ebanke. We have the Oya Dadem, Otobaye Iru, Epom, and Obek. All those clans, nobody remembers them. Because I know zone one, because the enemy has dealt with us in many ways, and that is why we must come back and begin. Somebody is at the forefront now, doing wonderfully well for us, bringing out all those philosophy that we are known, but because we've been intimidated, so some of us want us to keep quiet. And who are we going to serve? Is it those who know their right and left? I mean, the Fulani that have controlled Nigeria. Look at what's happening today. The center can no longer hold. APC is Buhari, although they've been concrete facts that Buhari is not there. The fact from Nnamdi Kanu says Buhari was dead since 2017. But they've been hiding it. And because in Nigeria, Nigeria is a country whereby anything goes. People are not bothered. It looks as if is a spiritual problem. We need deliverance. Nobody's asking questions. The press is there. If not the social media that we've now have our voice. The other day, they tried to bring up a bill to gag the social media press, because that is where we have our powers. They've pushed us out from the mainstream media. Nobody's even remembering how this thing worked. It was after the Civil War. If you talk now, the Yoruba will say, after all, you had only the abandoned properties only in River State. Is it not your brothers that seized your properties? But in Lagos, during the war, Igbos ran back to the eastern region. After the war, many were killed. Those who were survived, who survived, their jobs were taken. On top of that, their savings. It had to be a battle to even get your property if you had buildings there. And since then, from then up to now, what has happened? We've risen again. But unfortunately, the envy is there. Now, they don't want us to talk. But it is not possible, because we are a dogged people. We are unapologetic when it comes to hard work. We don't owe anybody any apology, as long as we know how to work hard. And that is what we are doing. That is what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. Working hard, reminding them, beating them. He said he's going to bring down Nigeria with truth. He never said he's going to set up bomb, because truth is the greatest weapon. And that is what, is it not what we are known for? Why are we keeping quiet? Are we no longer known for truth? Even in Igbo villages, we'll see some of our uncles, especially some of them who may even not have the wherewithal, but as long as they say the truth, you will find them. Any good Igbo will put the person in cabinet or so, and the village will respect that person because he always stands for truth. Ibe Nkumoto. And that is what that young man is doing. If he is not doing the right thing, we won't be backing him. I will not be here talking about him. When he came to Ireland, I I think it should be on, it is still on YouTube. I bombarded him with questions. Because I watched Owazurike closely. When Owazurike started with his master, we gave him that support. Until he went off the path. That is why I keep saying, Igbos are very, very difficult, but they are easy. They are one of the easiest people. You can conquer them with truth and hard work. If they know you are a very hardworking person and truthful person, they will respect you. This is natural. Leadership. We are known for leadership. We are known for leadership in any place we find ourselves. Leadership does not mean, hey, I want to lead, I must lead. No. Leadership is by character. Character. Serve. The greatest must be the servant. Because you must humble yourself in service in order to be lifted. Most of the people that find their way to the top in Igbo history, I mean, really, it's not the 419 history that we are having now, whereby a 419 will be a governor, whereby a criminal would never have free and fair elections. They will come and impose and use guns, and just come on an election, you see 3 people die over this attempts to snatch a box, ballot box, or, you know, somebody must die. Is that election? Is that how to choose your leader? No. It's to tell you that criminals are having a field day in our society today. We know all these things. On a very good day, we will handle them. Most of you, are you going to forget easily if you are from the Owerri axis? Or you must say, what happened to the Otokotos? How they intimidated the society? How they showed their ill-gotten money flagrantly? When the time came, we dealt with them. These ones sabotaging us, we will not spare them at the right time. I've always sent the message across. That is where we are difficult. Because when you are not truthful, there will not be mercy. There's no need hiding the fact. Even those of you reading the Bible, talking about Jesus Christ and the people of God, I mean, the children of God waged battles. They waged battles in order to safeguard themselves. Have we forgotten now? The same Bible said, "No nyendiro baraburuburu nechendo yanche." Are you going to say because you are a child of God, you will leave your enemies to annihilate you? I mean, they are gradually crawling into our farms, surrounding us, sending ahead parties via the headsmen, using our neighbors to sabotage our efforts. We must show leadership. It's not only showing leadership in business, in how to make money. We must show leadership in safeguarding our life, in safeguarding our culture, in safeguarding our community. That is a typical Igbo ideology. We specialize in collective efforts. So we must remind ourselves, are we doing the right thing? Are we protecting our environment? Are our enemies not taking center stage to direct our progress and our future? Look at the way the white men gathered in Berlin to decide the future of Africa, partitioning us, putting in every dick and hat into one country, bringing in charlatans and people who are not worthy to stay with us, to even lead us. And look at the way things are. We are just traveling without any sense of direction. Everybody wants to run away from Nigeria. Don't you know that something is wrong? If you pack a ship, a big ship, even if that ship is going to capsize on the Atlantic Ocean, and you just pack a big ship and say, look, 20,000, this ship is going to contain 1 million Nigerians. You want to transfer them abroad. That ship will fool. Everybody wants to run away. And that is what they want us to do, to run away from our fatherland, so that they will invite their nomadic brothers and sisters from all across West Africa to people the place. They want, what do they call it? The grazing rights. They want every state to provide land for them. Overnight, they will turn tiger and start killing. And because they know we value life, we just don't kill like that unless there's a reason. And because you know they are cowards, they will come where you are sleeping to massacre. They will waylay old women in the bush, in the farms where they are tending their crops, and rape them. That is why we must wake up. This is why we must support what this young man is doing. I mean, many of us have visions of what he is doing, but at the moment, he's showing the true Igbo philosophy, and that is tenacity, doggedness, leadership. And that is what we have to follow him and get what we are looking for. Are we no longer known for truth? Purity of truth. We must excavate it, no matter how difficult it is. You know, ezioku de ka afọ ime, anaghị ekpuchi ya ekpuchi. Truth is like pregnancy. You can't hide it. He's using truth to hit Nigeria. And that is what you must begin to talk to. That's your friend who doesn't want to hear anything about Biafra. Insists, rebel about his lies, be uncompromising. If you are married to one, make sure that he doesn't have peace unless he accepts truth. Many of you do know about Queen Esther in the Bible. What he achieved for his people. You that is married to a Yoruba man, or to you that has been captured by a non-Igbo, you must insist on truth. So don't just go there and be bamboozled and be swept off and be covered with hatred for your own people. That is an abomination. Why did they marry you? Why did they keep you at all? They married you because they know you are a light. When you come into their life, you will give them a sense of direction. You will organize them. You will give them footing. You will bring a solid foundation to his existence. And that, hence, you must sound it into his head that you will always stand on truth. And that is what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. And that is why we have to support this march. It is not a march to start shooting. We are not saying we should shoot anybody. No. We want to excavate truth. We want to bring out truth. We want to expose all the lies that Nigeria was built. That is why Nigeria is not moving forward. That is why the country cannot move. That is why anywhere, even in families, you see that. Anywhere that, any family that was built without truth, you see that there will always be problem. It will always collapse. It will collapse. We must not accept this undue domination. I mean, dominate us with truth. Dominate us with hard work. Dominate us with creativity. Dominate us with enterprise. This is what we fall for. I mean, the lies our people are falling for. They are cowed. They are cowed into falling for these lies. You and I know that. They're intimidating us. So that is why you see the best of us wouldn't rise to the top. Look at Nigeria. As a Nigerian, you go out and people talk to you and respect, man, Nigeria is a great country. But when they look at your leadership, they just laugh at you. They say, man, black monkeys. Of course, why would they call us black monkey? Because we are waiting for them to come and do, is it, what's his name? This singer, may his soul rest in peace. Ozemuna Wansugbe. Ndebanye na-eche ndị ọcha. We are waiting for Oyibo to come and do everything for us. Imagine, everything we keep begging. Why wouldn't they call us black monkey? You wait for them to come and fix your road. You wait for them to come and build hospitals. You wait for them to even come and clean your pool. That is why they are laughing at us. Ask your brothers and sisters living abroad. The most stupid Oyibo man thinks that he is better than us. Charlatans. Some of them, they are not educated even. We've been entered into the same classroom with them. And we still beat them. Despite their racism, despite that they will always bring us down, despite their intimidation, we still excel. If you know the conditions that many of your kids and kin pass through abroad to even get money to send you some of those cash they send you, you will tell them, please take care of yourself. And that is that doggedness that we embody. We don't give up. You know, we know these things ourselves, that we never give up. In what we do, in our quest for survival, in our pursuit of excellence and good life, we don't give up. We work hard. People abroad, they do a lot of things. They work hard, wake up 5 a.m., go to work. Some don't even sleep. The Westerners, they marvel. They know who is who. But you know, they wouldn't want us not to depend on them. It is up to us because they are the same. I mean, the world is now a global village. That is what you call diplomacy. And that's why one of the reasons they are better than us is because they follow laws. That is why, you know, they are better than us. They respect the laws. So you can always beat them by using their own laws. And there are still good ones among them. Why we don't want China? Because China doesn't have the fear of God. Though the gospel is spreading there, but they don't have the fear of God, especially their government. And that is why they can do anything. Look at the Bible I read. Say many things that we do practice in our culture. Read the Old Testament, especially Leviticus. In China, you see them. They eat raw meat. They don't even cook it. So what does that tell you? And these things are against our culture. So we work hard. We must not accept undue domination. No matter what it takes, we must not accept undue domination. Because we've kept quiet for a long time. But we have an opportunity. We have opportunity to finish this. We must liberate our people. Yes, it failed in the last time, but this time we are not talking about violence. We're talking about liberating the rest of Nigerians. Nigerians are in bondage. Hausas are looking for liberation. Thieves are looking for liberation. Our brothers in Benue, Idomas, are looking for liberation. Even Yorubas, many Yorubas want to be liberated. But unfortunately, they've divided them by seizing Ilorin and Islamizing them, using Islam to deceive them. And what they do, they empower a few and empower their kings. Our peculiarities distance us from the rest of Nigeria. And that is why we keep moving, pushing, irrespective of the odds. We keep pushing. When the British came, they saw communities, independent communities. If you move from Mpo to Ogidi, you will meet a different leadership. You will meet a different people. Igbo na sunolu nolu. Yet, we are one people. And that is why we pride ourselves as the originators of democracy. Forget about this thing Oyibo is doing. They don't want us to write our history. And that's why the newspaper I did, Africa World News, have its condensed message as unless the hunted gives his account, the story of the hunt will always favor the hunter. We must tell our story. We know who we are. We know who we want. We know who is our leader. That is why we are backing Nnamdi Kanu. Because he is doing the right thing. So if you are Igbo and you say you are not backing him, then you are a criminal who doesn't know that we are in bondage, who doesn't know that we are not exercising our rights, who doesn't know that there's siege in our land. I want a siege. See, look at from Asaba, Banyani Monicha. Don't you see the checkpoints? From Owerri to Port Harcourt, I counted 21 checkpoints. And this should be a 30 minutes or 25 minutes journey if the road is good. I counted 21 checkpoints. All of them were on that road, collecting money. All the policemen, soldiers, all the security, they want to be posted to the southeast, where they will be collecting money. These people have been feeding fat on us. And look at, the civil war broke out. They divided our people. They used some of the criminals that in those days they will be sold into slavery to be ruling over us. I don't want to start talking history now. Some of the people that were sold during the slavery, apart from those who were captured, some communities, that's why I keep asking you to go and read this book, Olaudo Equiano's book. because he said a lot of things. He gave a good insight on the characteristics of the Igbos during that 17th and 16th century. Our people, they fiercely independent, even in the era of Aro, the Aro Chukwus, because Aro dominated on economics. They used their juju to dominate our people. They never interfered in politics because our people will resist it. So they saw this is the way of our people. Naturally, they now intimidated through economic, making their money. When the British came, they saw that they couldn't. They caused chaos among us, bombing Arochukwu, Binoba the shrine, targeting some places. Ekumeku group, I told you about this group, Ekumeku, embarked on a guerrilla war against them. That guerrilla war even lasted into the 20th century. In the early 19th. So in that kind, we need to know who we are. We cannot accept undue domination. By who? The Fulanis are not good. They are not enlightened. They didn't build any civilization. They keep claiming caliphate. Which caliphate? Caliphate, they were just collecting taxes from houses and squandering. What did they build? Oruhurainaha. How many Oruhurainaha? They know they cannot compete against us. When the war broke out, they went and begged the British, and they used all this Efule and not, and put Gowon in charge. And today, Gowon's people, are they not the ones suffering? I said you can only conquer the Igbos with truth and hard work. Because our people doesn't tolerate lies. Even if they will keep quiet, they won't tolerate it. That's why you see some of our people that have made money illicitly. They will come and people will eat their money and when they move forward, you see, people will still mock at them. When it comes to doing important things, you see, the community wouldn't. Many of them became Igwe and Eze by intimidation, out of intimidation, because they had might with the government. Because the British came and empowered the government structure over traditional rights. That's why you see today, state governor will now give staff of office to all these Igwes and emirs and obas, and they'll just wake up and create 1,000 autonomous communities in a state, using these ones against the other one. Using some 419s will go there and be hiding. Some criminals, some of them that on a very good day we will just bring them out and hang them on their village square. So we must not accept this undue domination. This is who we are. That is our worldview. That is our philosophy. What are our peculiarities? Ndundi Igbo, as F.C. Obalo in his book, 1981 book, said, Ndundi kedi hegemanani. What are we known for? Culture. You cannot talk about the Igbos without their culture. And what is our culture? Because the enemy is dwelling among us. Even abroad, here, you see a lot of things happening. People are now promoting their selfish aggrandizement over the community. Thanks, Nana Hememe. Because people has been cowed. And amazing our people intimidate. Have they here used to call our own people? Look at in Imo State, somebody but a photo governor, and you have bankete, who make appointments. They are everywhere talking, campaigning for him, even going against our collective interest. Look at Okorocha them. Stole our state dry, enriching themselves with our own commonwealth too. On top of it, they are still intimidating us. When you talk, they will tell you to shut up. You can't even buy a bottle of beer. Some of them, we knew how they started. We knew they never had a shop. They never invented anything. They never imported any product. They never worked all their life. It was just from one stealing port to another. And because our foes who are leading at the center in Nigeria, they've been shopping for the Obabiasikas in our midst to appoint them. Those people, they are sure that will sabotage our efforts. You see them, they empower them. If you are ready to lick their ass, they will give you a appointment, give you a commissioner, or give you nonsense SSA, or make you a governor. And some of them pass through. That's why you see sometimes they can't even perform. You'll be asking, are they not getting allocations? They will go in there and start borrowing to pay their masters. What are we known for? We can't talk about the Igbos without looking at the culture. We have a culture of doggedness. We have a culture of pride. Pride is not bad, especially when you are a hardworking person. When you know your own news, when you are on the right path, why won't you be proud? I mean, in Abaro Wegimbo, you're working hard. You are not begging anybody. That is why we don't have stay. Look at Africa. They don't respect Africa because we keep begging. We will beg every time. Korea will call the whole African leaders. All of them, foolishly. How many countries in Africa? 50-something. They will go to Korea that started with Nigeria and line up and take pictures and cap in hand. They will be begging them. We are giving you $100 billion to. It's remaining for Ireland to call them. Poland will call them. Even Czech Republic will call them. As if we cannot do anything. And, helping the Igbo man to buttress that his point that we are incapable of achieving anything. And they know it's a lie. But they will help us to put in somebody who is an idiot and arm the person. But it is important for us to get to understand the situation, the global situation now. We've seen their handicapped nature, especially with this COVID-19. Unfortunately, we've seen that we don't have the right leaders who can even take opportunity of the situation and assert. But how are we going to, again, now, if we cannot manufacture, if we cannot empower our people, if we cannot educate our people, if we cannot develop our place, then when Oyibo, who has been losing thousands of people every day due to this coronavirus, when they, as they said, when they flatten this curve, they will now come to start helping us. Are they going to help us for free? They will lend us now with one hand and use the other hand to collect double food. Just like Britain has been making us dry. And that is what we cost ourselves. When we are divided, our brothers in river states, we are not Igbo. We are not Igbo. In Delta State, we are not. Look at oil pipe. We are laid from River State to Kaduna. Many of us don't even know that. It was laid. And somebody said, we are not. They're talking about, are you talking about language? I even said Igbo national. Go to some places in Imo State. You won't even hear their dialect. When an Abo man talks, I pick words. I understand. When somebody from Okwane, Kwale talk, I pick words. When somebody from Abakaliki go to Haji, there's places they call Awara, Asa, Obile. You may not even hear come or go. So these things, we must look at it. And we talk about Onyala Wanne. Onyala Wanne is a fundamental ingredient in Igbo World View. Onyala Wanne. We must be our brother's keeper. Some of our kids and kin found themselves in Edo states, Delta states, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Kogi. How are they faring? Because we've been balkanized. When you are balkanized, the enemy can have a field day. And that has been our situation. Happen on the stupid Facebook. We've seen places. These things are why we need to have a Republic of Biafra. Ndị be anyị ga-arụcha ihe anyị ga-arụ rụọ nke mba ụwa ga-ejibiri. It looks like because they make us to depend on people we are not supposed to depend on. Because we don't have the political power. Before you achieve outstanding economic progress, you must have political independence. Look at Dangote is the richest man in Africa. Can you now manufacture? How did he make his money? He said his uncle gave him money. Dan Tata. Who is he talking to? His uncle, Aliyu Dan Tata, gave him money. He should come to Igbo land and see millions of people that were settled by their uncles. All of them should have been made money now before Dangote. They've been stealing our money, laundering money through that man. I have been saying it from day one. And that is why he's not investing. Check he's not investing in Igbo land. Because someone knows but there's no problem. I've always said, money that somebody made in 30 years, you can make it with one deal. Ego para na otutu afo ana abaya na ofu ntabi anya. Nde bani tetano n'ụra. Wake up. Especially our people. I want you to send this message to Nde bani no outside Southeast. Send there this message that we must end this Fulani deception. Hey, deceive Gonde Yoruba, they will not deceive us. And we must use wisdom. You see, because wisdom surpasses everything. Wisdom surpasses everything. It surpasses money. It surpasses influence. It surpasses work. It surpasses raw strength. Wisdom. That is my message today. I know Facebook, this page, I started it in 2000. They closed my first page. That is what we are. Intimidation. They want to gag us. If they know you have a mission, they just want to. They want to cow us down. We can't be cowed down. That is why we must support Nnamdi Kanu. Anywhere you see them going against him, get into that group. I'm not telling you to be abusive. Expose the lies in Nigeria. Expose the lies in the country. That is what we want. We are not saying shoot this person, shoot. We are not calling for armed struggle. We are saying let Nigeria leave Biafrans to go. If it comes to that, fine. One thing we are sure of, that the Fulani deception has ended. At least the rest of the Nigerians are getting to be more aware of that deception. And that is why they started this policy, saying arrival on visa before COVID-19. Because they want their kids and kin in other countries who they want them to come in, so that in case there's a conflict, they will see people who are going to fight for them. And that's why they want to borrow money, so that they will share it, nothing more. They're not doing anything, you know. And we should stop keeping quiet, because they are borrowing this money in our name. Every of our entitlements, we must go for it. I thank you for listening to me today. But we must support Nnamdi Kanu. It is important. That's they keep. We must end the siege. You know that we are under siege. We must end the siege. It is time to end the siege, because if we keeping quiet, they are surrounding us. They've taken over our farms in many places. They are killing, they are maiming, raping our women. They will come into people's houses and kidnap. I saw a few days ago in Anyamelum, they came in there. A girl of how many years? They just took her out after stealing from the family. They took the girl. Probably they are going to rape the girl, and a lot of they've been killing, and they are coming. We must stop them. This is an opportunity, and our generation must end the siege. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you. My name is Ukachukwu Okorie.